India's most disruptive digital insurance aggregator. The fastest growing online insurance player in the market, with over 2.5 million customers and more than 50,000 sales partners. RenewBuy functions across 650 cities and towns in India. Meet the co-founder and CEO, Balachander Sekhar, a veteran in the insurance sector with over 20 years of experience. Sekhar envisions RenewBuy as the Amazon of digital insurance.
I'm Jasper Reid, and this is Billion Dollar Idea. We're delighted today to be joined by Mr. Balachander Sekhar, the founder and CEO of RenewBuy. Bala, a very good day to you.
Hi, Jasper, and hi, everybody.
We've been super excited by this show. We were looking into your background a bit, and you went to, some time back, Navrachna School. Just tell us, when you were a young man running around the school, playing sport in your maths lessons, what was the dream then?
Well, that's Navrachna. It's been ages since somebody reminded me of that time. But that's in Gujarat, and that was actually one of my most, I would say, memorable and lovely time. And incidentally, Gujarat is a land of entrepreneurs and businessmen. So everybody around me would wonder, why am I studying and what is this IIT and this exam that I'm trying to get into and so on. And because everybody had a business. And I used to often, say, one day I'm going to open a company and have 100 people as employees and basically be able to provide employment to 100 people. So, kind of in a way it was probably something that I felt even then of wanting to obviously create and do something. And obviously all those thoughts weren't so crystal when I was in school. I think I had a lot of fun, honestly. But so because there was so many entrepreneurs or businessmen in Gujarat, I'm sure it had a part in how I started thinking about things. Yeah.
You can sort of take the man out of Gujarat, but you can't take Gujarat out of the man. Now here, so if the dream was to have your own company, employ people, be an entrepreneur, it took you a bit of time to do that. You went into a series of corporate jobs. Talk us about that thinking, 4 years here, 4 years there. Were you always trying to escape into entrepreneurship?
Jasper, that kind of says it well. Way back in 2001 when the original .com happened, I did start some .com and I crashed and burned. And since then I went to the other extreme. I chose what I thought was the most secure and well-paying job. It was, I joined banking. And I've been associated with insurance ever since.
That's interesting. And how did the family react? Were they horrified that you were leaving secure employment of banks with big titles?
Actually, it was quite the other way. My wife has been probably my biggest supporter. She probably sensed this whole feeling of unrest when I used to be in corporate world. I was never I would say professionally happy, Yes, it was very high paying, very, we had a good lifestyle. It was difficult. So the thing is that, when you've spent many years in the corporate world and you're used to a certain lifestyle, you do need to think about, you need to probably plan this out in a way. So luckily for me, my wife and I have always been led very simple lives, and we continue to do that. It was easy, and I think there was a lot of support. So I think that helped.
Well done, Mrs. Sekhar. And behind every great man is a great woman, of course we know. Now, one of the things our viewers are interested in, Bala, is what sparked the idea? I mean, many people aspire to be entrepreneurs, and they sit there waiting for the muse to strike or getting an idea. How did you and Indranil kind of just get going?
I think one of the things we have seen to also explain what we do, with so many years, insurance has hardly seen not more than 80 million people getting insured in India. And it's the same people who live in the top 20 cities, who are well-to-do and probably actually, can even do without the insurance. People like you and me, Jasper, in case we had a medical emergency or something, we could get by even if we didn't have insurance. And actually, we are the guys who have it. But there are 700 million people when you think about people in the smaller towns. And they're the guys who probably are earning 2-3 lakhs per annum, and they actually need insurance. They can afford to buy insurance worth 1,500, 2,000. But the fact is, there are no branches. There are no insurers who are out there servicing them. The agents are not going to sell to them because they're not as lucrative for them, because it's a lot of effort. It has always been our dream and passion. How do we solve for this? And that is the one and single reason we created RenewBuy, and that is the one and simple reason I wake up and rush to office every day to see how much of that we are doing.
That's fantastic, and it's great to see a man and a company on a roll. Talking about customers in the deepest reaches of India, Bala, I'm reading a book at the moment called A Goddess in the Stones by a famous travel writer called Norman Lewis. And he talks all about tribal communities in Bihar, in Orissa, deep India, where your customers are. Tell me, how does a man from Gujarat, by way of IIT, big business, how does he get his head around the richness and the diversity of the other end of society?
Oh, So, actually I'm a South Indian Tamilian. I was born in a city called Trichy, transplanted to Baroda, where I did my schooling. I went to college, IIT in Bombay, and then I went on to do my IIM in Calcutta. I've been working in Delhi. I think of myself as an example of today what we call a true Indian. Work has taken me extensively to different parts of the country, and fundamentally, while cultures are different and the languages are different, I think a lot of issues, especially around creating safety nets or the way you approach these customers, are similar. So I think so I think that's probably so I've never let one line of thinking cloud my way.
Yeah, and it's a rare privilege, really, because as we know, so many people see India only at the top end of the pyramid and believe that India is only a few cities. But tell us, Bala, I mean, you're right down, as you say, into consumer groups that are earning 1, 2, 3 lakhs a year. What is the secret of engaging that TG with that group of customers?
When I think about the vision of RenewBuy and where I want to keep building this, and how do I think about what I call success, I would want to go to every village in India and go to the person who is probably the most educated there. I'm most likely the smartphone and 5G or 4G would have reached before me. I would go there and enlist him as a RenewBuy advisor, teach him or her how to do business, and he or she would then go about with the community. And we are basically bringing back community concept exactly the way LIC built its business, except that there are no branches. This is our branch. This device is what we empower our agents with. And essentially, it's about being able to service those people in the village. So that's what I keep saying. RenewBuy ka jhanda or flag. We want to see the flag of RenewBuy in each and every village as we see this business grow.
That's absolutely fascinating. Okay, so we've dealt with kind of one of the 3 C's of business, customer. Let's get on to capital and culture. I mean, you guys have been raising money, as is the nature of fast growth, somewhat capital-intensive businesses. How did you figure out how to do all of that, Bala? I mean, raising money, dealing with investors, it's tricky. Talk to us about the learnings there.
It is. And initially, I would say I was probably quite a novice, and I wasn't really well versed in this whole concept of coming from the corporate world. And that's one of the things you learn. Look, when you become an entrepreneur, there's just one thing you are always at the deep end of the pool. So you have to swim and learn and do things. So we figured. And from our point of view, it was about getting our concept right before we actually hit the market. So before we actually raised money, I and Indranil put everything we had into the business because that's how much we believed in it. And thankfully, that's paid off.
Let's talk, Bala, about culture. In a word, two questions really. Number one, in a word, what is the culture of RenewBuy? And the second question is, how on earth have you built it?
So that's a difficult answer to say it in one word. So I think if the one word can come close to describing it, it's openness. I think in RenewBuy, to give you an example and to say how I built it, I sit in the middle of the floor, right in the middle of a lot of product and tech people. So anybody can approach me, and we have nice music playing there sometimes. So the idea being that I think if you have to say something to somebody, you better say it fast, and you don't wait. So that's one of the essential things about what differentiates us from a regular company. I don't think we want to waste too much time, trying to solve each other's issues, and rather we want to spend all our time solving problems that our customers have. So a lot of time goes in to solving customers' problems, and for that, having frank, candid, open conversations and sometimes arguments, sometimes all in good spirit, is widely encouraged.
I said I'd only do 3 C's. I'm going to add one more C, which is creativity. You're an innovative business. You're an ideas man. How do you see creativity in companies? Do you see it as a process? Do you see it as something that's actually the opposite of the process? How do you go about all of this?
Where a lot of ideas initially came from me and Indranil and the other set of co-founders who basically wanted to solve the problem as they focused on building RenewBuy, and had their personal attention to it. That goes on for some time, but eventually, Jasper, you need to create probably a structure. We have a team of product and tech people who's primarily looking at how they're going to keep solving customers' problems more and more. We are in the insurance space, so right from sales to post-sales to claims, and so in every way, what is it that we can do differently using tech to be able to reduce friction and improve the consumer's experience?
Okay, and I guess one of the big ideas, of course, was RenewBuy itself and its model. We've had a few guests on this show from your world, people like Sky and from Policy Bazaar. If you look at the world you're in, there's a number of insurance aggregators to simplify your model. Why will RenewBuy win?
So, we were the only company when we started in 2015 who thought differently. I think a bunch of people continue to focus on bringing efficiency to those 80 million customers for whom there's a ton of suppliers, insurers reaching them directly, banks reaching them, agents reaching them. Fundamentally, we believe that the opportunity lies in the larger 700 million population, and they are not the people who are going to go online on their own and seek solutions, because they need to be sold the category. World over and in India, insurance continues to be a sold category, an advice-led category. So we've simply focused on bringing the internet to those 800 million through our 60,000 agents currently.
What matters more, hunger or education?
Hunger, any day.
Okay, and let's say you're burning with entrepreneurial zeal and you don't have IIM or IIT, you're in Ranchi, you're in Patna, you're in Jammu, wherever you are. What words of encouragement, Bala, would you offer to the budding entrepreneur that doesn't necessarily know where to start?
Well, first is I think you need to choose something that you are deeply passionate about, something that you would wake up to and keep at, and you would definitely want to make sure that you see the distance, because entrepreneurship is not easy. In fact, it can be very, very, a lot of entrepreneurs fail, some for those reasons because they don't probably have the resilience to carry it through. Every time in the initial days, I would encounter 9 nays as opposed to 1 yay to what I wanted to do. So your ability to, overcome those and continue to believe in yourself. So I think that's the start point. You have to find that passion which you want to latch on to, and then I think everything else will work itself. Obviously, the second most important thing is you need to be very hungry to want to make it happen. Nothing comes easy, especially in a country like India. You got to assume that. It is a lot of hard work. So that's what I believe. So if you're passionate about something and you are hungry to make it happen, I think that's all you need.
Okay, so loosely speaking, the Bala formula is hunger plus passion plus persistence over self-belief equals success, or may equal success.
Yes.
Give or take. Okay, great. Let's move from we've talked about the business, we've talked a bit about education. Let's talk a bit about the man. I mean, I should think you work pretty hard, Bala, but when you're not working, what gets you going? What do you love to do outside of work?
Many things which. Some which I continue to religiously follow, and some which I wish I had more time to do. It could be a run, it could be working out in the gym, but that's something that I really, really look forward to as I wake up every day in the morning. And that's something that keeps me going in many ways. So physical fitness is something I really care a lot about. I love traveling, not the work kinds only. Traveling really offbeat. I used to climb regularly, but those are things that I wish I had some more time for. But I'm sure I'm going to soon enough find the balance and be able to do some of those as well. Yeah.
Good, Bala. And do you have a personal mantra of any sort? Some people live by a certain motto. Do you have one?
Of course. I keep using it. In Hindi, they say it's "Ek hi zindagi hai," or you could say it's one life. Do it all. So pursue your dreams and pursue your passion. You have one life. So I want to be able to do everything that I care about or I'm passionate about. I don't want to ever live with the regret that, oh, I wish I could have done that or this. And fundamentally, time is the only currency that you really own. So, how you use your time is up to you. So for me, that's something I'm very, very particular about. And I want to be able to do as many things that I want to pursue in my life.
Okay, so carpe diem, one life, live it well. Bala, you're a long way from the end of your life, inshallah, and all of that. When you're further down the track, and you're looking back, right, and God willing, you have success and health and all of this. What would you like to look back on? What would you like to look back on? What's the goal? How do you want to be seen in the final analysis?
Well, I would imagine for me, RenewBuy has obviously become larger than life for me. So, how RenewBuy shapes up is going to be a reflection of how I see myself. I would certainly want it to have made a huge difference to the industry it is in, having created something meaningful. Hopefully 500,000 people in India would use RenewBuy to earn their livelihood, and hopefully that will wash away all my sins, and I believe I would have done something substantial and meaningful in that process. So that's the RenewBuy side of it. Outside of that, I'm a fun guy, and I want to make sure that all my friends and family remember me for always that, being a fun guy.
Balachander Sekhar, that's a great way to end. We wish you well. Once in your life you were a climber. You've climbed a significant business mountain, and you look like you're heading to the summit, so we wish you well. Thank you very much for being on the show.